Yates, Eiger, Yates, Sheehan, Indo, Yates Gate, Indo. News Talk, Power, Potential, Conflicts of Interest, Media House Podcast, Path to Power, Concerto, Jesus, Smearman Jesus. How's it going, guys? I hope you had a great day. It's just gone 4 o'clock. It's time for a quick slice of drive time, just a quick fix as a bookend to the day. I hope you had a great one. Some of you probably still on one. But I just can't get over the scandal that has rocked and shocked the nation. And my good buddy, good friend, done up like a kipper. You know, what can you do? I went into Bauer, read the Riot Act, straight back to the Oireachtas to see the Taoiseach. And I couldn't go back to Yates. I tried to call him. There was just no answer, you know. I think he'd been awake all night. And he just crashed, you know, so it is what it is. And all I can say is that I just hope that he managed to recover. Path to Power, sadly, is no longer happening. It's a goner. Cooper can't go on with it. It's brought the podcast into disrepute on a scale we've never seen before, which is such a shame because there's nothing else that matches it or mirrors it in terms of information, coverage, insider scoop. You've also got the wealth of knowledge of the Yateser and Coops as well, combined. A real formidable powerhouse. There's nothing else that does the same job with the same caliber as that pod, so I just don't know where we go from here, you know. I don't know what the lay of the land is going to be with him, or whether or not he's going to re-emerge like a phoenix from the flames and try and bring something out, maybe in the next couple of weeks, or maybe in, you know, wait until the new year or something like that. The Battle of Ranelagh, thank you very, very much. And I want to say thanks to Ronan. I got your message, man. Thanks very much. And Investment Quest, thank you very much as well. Some clown is after leaking the schematics for J-Rose Cloud Tower to the currency. We're for the high jump now, for fuck's sake. We need to keep that on the hush. on the hush hush. Push the hush button on that one, please. It's still in a very, very early prototype development phase, so we can't jeopardize it at this early stage of the game. Thinking of just getting into a menu book, opening up a menu book, seeing what is in front of us, and going for it just for an hour or two, you know, just to wind down, decompress. Nothing too strenuous, not a big Nürburgring time trial situation, just nice driving, maybe a bit of news talk, we'll see. But I have a tab open with the latest from RTE. Let's see if we have that. Do we have our playlist as well? Yates did not flag potential conflicts of interest before the Media Whiz podcast, which is a real shame. You know, because this is where we find ourselves now, is up shit creek without a paddle, as they do say. Notion, thank you very much for the tip, and none other than Digipadder Tobin. And there you can see RTE giving it both barrels, as I said. A little bit disappointed with them, especially Boucher Hayes and his tone yesterday on Morning. Ivan Yates told the Indo Sport podcast. So this is a new development, that the presidential election was Jim Gavin's to lose. He didn't flag any potential conflict COI when he talked up Jim Gavin's chances of winning the pres-elect on the Indo Sport pod last September. Yates told the pod the election was Gavin's to lose. Fianna Fáil have confirmed yesterday they retained the service. We know all about that. He did 2 sessions with Gavin. Okay, it was just all they were 2 sessions on how to go about answering questions in a televised debate. That's all it was. You know? It's a completely different ball game to someone being aligned with the party from inside the party, you know? They're making too much of this. I think it's just they like to see a story, you know? They like to see a story. They like to see a good man brought down to heel. No doubt. He ruffled some feathers. Hey ho, we've all been there. We've all done it. And you know, there's a lot of sharks, a lot of snakes out there. He did 2 sessions. Fuck all in the grand scheme of things. Yates has done media training with a number of Fianna Fáil figures since 22, including Micheál Martin, Dara O'Brien, James Brown, Norma Foley, and Dara Cleary and James Lawless, it says here. Spokesperson for Media Whiz said Yates was a guest on one of the episodes of the Indo Sport, which aired on September 9th, 2 days before the other September date that we all know about. Based on the timelines now published by Fianna Fáil, this was prior to his work with the presidential candidate Jim Gavin. So yeah. You know, he was saying that they should smear their political opponents, and now all we're seeing is a smear campaign against Yates. That's all I can see. It's tit for tat. Thank you very much there for the tip. Ivan Yates Coaching Limited. Konzo, have you sought out any information on the new €63 million Daily Mount Park development? Some prime retail space going to be available, perhaps a new bubble tea spot. Look, you're in that Phibsborough, you're in that area which is it's becoming more and more gentrified by the day. And no doubt if Daily Mount is going to be redeveloped, they're going to have a modern twist and take on the stadia. And we might see some nice stuff there. So, look, I'm keeping all irons in the fire for that, but bubble tea could go down really well. They have a great Thai place out there already, I think. Penguin Random House, thanks very much. Book proposal, Yates on Space. So this is great. We're getting a few new ideas coming through the pipeline, and that's only going to put a little bit of wind in the sails, because right now my heart goes out to the man, because we don't know where the next gig might come from, if at all. Ian's World, thank you very much. How you Connor, messaging from Madeira. It's an untapped market out here. Great to hear that. The Madeira, the land of Ronaldo. The island out there. It's either in the, whatchamacallits, the Canaries. Beautiful place. Beautiful, beautiful people. Fantastic food. Fantastic cuisine. And amazing Ronaldo. Completely and utterly Ronaldo'd out there. It's the land that time forgot. Book proposal, Yates on Space. Ivan shares his philosophy on the wider universe. Thought leadership on intergalactic relations, and offers solutions to simplify planning bottlenecks on the Galaxy Zortron X. It's an interesting proposal. It's definitely got a bit of steam in the tank. And I'm sure as hell if he's to look into something like that, maybe even get something out, a coffee table situation. We'll get some nice pictures, great book, something for, or even a small pocket-sized compendium, a stocking filler in time for the Christmas market. Do you know? Time is ticking. Time is ticking. The Christmas ads are 10 a penny. They're all on the radio at the moment. So, I don't know how fast the turnaround. Maybe we can just go get onto China for that. And get something shipped over. Beamish Boy, thank you very much. Hey Connor, ever thought of live streaming from a 3-day cruise around Europe? I've often thought about it, but I haven't done it. I mean, I've done the cruise, but I've not done the stream from it. I can only imagine the technical aspects would be fraught with dire interference and dire coverage and reception. And while we're on that subject, it's amazing to me. Is that Leeson Street there? That would be around the party HQ. That's near Marion. But I did think it reminded me of Leeson earlier on, and the absolute Bermuda Triangle of air coverage. I don't know if you're aware of that or if you're an air customer. I was personally using Gomo myself, and there's a patchy little scenario around there. It's not great. Just as you get Leeson cross Adelaide Road, there are dropouts. So I'm gonna go with a 3 SIM card for any future endeavors around that area, because just Air have completely dropped the ball on that one, which is surprising. You know, you're in the middle of the city. What's the problem there, lads? I mean, you'd want to work that one out. Bezos Bonanza, thank you very much. And Yates on a Plane, another concept coming through the pipeline here. Yates follows a childhood dream to get his pilot's license and fly a 737 from Burr to Shannon. Anything in your sights for Black Friday? PDAs are making a comeback. I'm not sure about that. I mean, it's iPhone or bust, isn't it? That's the PDA now. Thanks very much for the tip. The other Jeff, Yates was spotted boarding a flight to Singapore at Dublin Airport. This is live updates coming through the pipeline at the moment, guys. I mean, that news on RTE just dropped, like 15:22, a few hours ago. But now we're hearing it here from somebody called Jeff. Don't know the credentials of Jeff, but seems to be a reliable source, saying that Yates has been spotted boarding a flight to Singapore, Dublin Airport, after being driven by an unknown individual in a Mercedes. He was wearing a beanie and a snood. Absolute extraordinary development. And Milosh, thank you very much there for the tip. Getting absolutely Ronaldo'd at work. I hope your day is going better. Thank you very much for that. It's just Tuesday. Imagine getting Ronaldo'd on Tuesday. Living the dream is Milosh. But two coalition partners are dealing with revelations. You know, you never want to have to be dealing with revelations that Mr. Yates, former Fine Gael minister and former broadcaster, provided 4 hours. 4 little hours. That's all we're talking about right here. This isn't like a fucking full-on course of a year. You know, day in, day out. What's 4 hours? That goes by in the blink of an eye. Heartbeat. Nothing. And they're pillorying him. Sending him to the fucking cleaners. We could do without this. This took place 23rd to 29th September. Yeah. Speaking on his way to cabinet, Martin said there's been a lack of balance and perspective.
Zurich tip.
Bodega Jones, thank you very much. People should declare conflicts. Intersection between politics, media, polling companies, pundits, and commentators is a very fluid and interesting one. It's not just about the individual. That's a great line. Who said that? Was that Martin? He's great. You gotta hand it to him. The intersection between politics, media, polling companies, pundits, commentators is a very fluid and interesting one. And it's not just about one individual. Exactly. So already just laying the foundations for a soft landing on this one. People should declare the conflicts and everyone should reflect on that. I think it's time for reflection. That's true. Tarnished Simon Harris has chimed in saying it was frustrating. And Heather Humphreys running a smear campaign. That was because of Mr. Yates. So I mean, it's crazy, isn't it? It really is all happening at the moment. Commission Naman are involved. Commission Naman are involved. Do you know? You don't want to get on the wrong side of them. Because they will take you down to Chinatown. And then some. And they won't be buying you any noodles or anything nice. But the kicker is that he will no longer co-host the podcast Path to Power, which is a real stinker. As of this morning, as I said, I just got back from Paris yesterday. Had to cancel dinner with Yannick Sinner, dinner with Sinner. A post-victorious slap-up meal in one of Paris's fine dining establishments. La Dinner House. Stephen Bartlett, thank you very much. And come home to this. As of this morning, I thought, well, at least the podcast is safe. Correct? But no. Cooper got cold feet and dipped. I came to a decision, said Coops, that it wasn't appropriate for the listeners not to know about what work he had done for Gav when he was providing commentary on the Gavmeister. It's one thing after another. It really is. It's sickening. Pascal Sheehy, thank you very much. And Bodega Jones. TMZ broke the news that you have emerged as the main candidate to be the director, executive producer of Ghost Pepper. Haven't heard anything yet, but it's great to see that my name is in the shake-up. It's great to be in the hat. And look, let's see what becomes of this first. Do not wage a war on reality. Invest in shaping perceptions. Our truth is not what we see. Our truth is the story we choose to believe. Interesting words. Formidable words there from Stephen Bartlett. A man of principle, a man of podcasting prowess. We all love it. We love to see it, and we see to love it. As I said time and time before, we might even do the CETA summit this year. I do have a third holiday home, which I've been Airbnb-ing out in Westport, but I might have to do a requisition on that, or even just call by as the Airbnb host and say, look, you're gonna have an extra guest for the weekend, lads. It's me. I'm doing a run up the mountain. I'm gonna be wearing all the gear. I'm gonna be doing some stretches and lumbar exercises in the room here from around 4 a.m. until 6 a.m. Maybe the night before as well. So if you're thinking of bringing a takeout back here or doing a bit of cooking, then please be aware that I will be doing those stretches. And you can't say anything really, because you know I own the place, and if you read the contract, I own you while you're a tenant. Thank you very much, Backhurst. It's great to see the Backmaster back as quick as a Flash TV show proposal. Interest of conflicts. Now this is a juicy one. Ivan Yates speaks to various noteworthy controversial figures about their favorite wars. Renault are interested. Heather's Guaylagore, thank you very much. And Kieran Crossan. Speaking of Indo Sport, the host Joe Malloy is massively ripping off your style. Look, I don't want to get involved in petty tit for tat things like that, but that is nice that you do think that. And thanks very much for the tip. Very kind of you. Let's just get on the track, have a little drive, a little decompress. It's nothing too major, and just think about what we're up against here. Because, you know, as I said before, it's not just about the whole shitstorm or the work that we do, or the money we make, or the property we own. It's also about the life that we enjoy, the car that we drive, the garage that we have that's so beautifully and cinematically lit, the Glyn that tips, the tip of the Glyn, and the sunset, the Nürburgring paddock, as we drive in for an absolutely stunning shot. Pure German magic. Driving around the bend, crazy scenes. 50 first Yates, 50 hopeful singles compete for Ivan's approval in an imaginative business-related romantic scenario that tests compatibility, commitment, and business acumen. It's a beautiful array and variety of themes which could possibly yield a fantastic program. I mean, it's great that Backhurst is watching as well, watching and listening and taking notes, I hope. Thank you very much for the tip there, Joey the Lips. Grant Thornton are interested in what you're doing, and they're watching, and they want to know whether or not you have all of your portfolio diversified and ready to go. Just open a gift. It's nice to get a few gifts. Thank you very much, Paul Meskel, who dispatches a gift just as I open the gift box here. 3-star roulette. Let's spin the roulette wheel a few times and see what we've been given. It's nice to end the Tuesday with this. It's a 3-star situation. I'm after that big chunk of gold bullion there, which I'll bring home and bury in the backyard. It's only going to gain value over the years. It's much better than currency like coins, for instance, which I've won, which I won't sneeze at. You know, that's going to boost my balance to 4.9 millis. And we've got another two 3-star roulette wheels, a 4 and a 4, and then we'll just maybe hit the Eiger for a spin. Pass that few quid onto Yates if possible, says Paul. Thanks very much for that. And this is a great tune. And we've won a Mercedes. Look at the sheen and shine on that. I already own it. It's an AMG 13, fully automatic. You've seen the one I drive. It's decked out in the livery. It's fantastic. It's Muse talk. It's Donnybrook Fair. It's going places. It's just nice to have another one, you know. I'll sell that. I might do it up and sell it at a later date. Not sure. Haven't decided yet. Ribena watch, thank you very much. Dippers spotted just past the Eiger bend. stored in the garage. A 3-starred up. Automatic success rates. Another pile of cash. Scooby Dooby Doo Baboo, Baba Doopy Baba Baba Choo, a Dappa Booba Doo Boo Boo da Doo Ba Da Da. Let's receive that gift again. Boff Juice, thank you very much. Boffington's Highway Express sends his regards as we land hopefully on another car. That'll do. Another one to add to the pile. Can't go wrong with the Supra. Can't go wrong with the Supra. Super stuff. And it's a GR Z19. 335 brake. I like it. Another one for the 4-story garage. And then the subterranean garage, which I've just had built. Should be ready by Christmas. Final spin of the wheel here. It's like winning streak, but with much better prizes and high class propositions and an invitation to Porsche. Congratulations, you've received an invite from a manufacturer. Use it to purchase car brand central. Let's go in there. Let's get our arses to Porsche and see what we can get. A nice 911 would be, you know, a custom or some sort of limited edition model, hopefully. Look at that button. It's got a drink button inside the Beamer that I have. That you press that, and then the back flap opens. A celebratory can of crisp, cool Sanpel emanates from a side hatch within the machine. And you can see the roll cage inside, the Joey Dunlops, and that Sanpel embossed branding on the rim wing. Brought to you in association with Clean Peace, sponsored by News Talk, facilitated by Ivan Yates at all times. He's everything to everyone, with cherries on top. Put it like this. I'm in the air now to Singapore. And to all my enemies in the woke media, I say, this bull is still standing and will be back to smash the fine china one day. That's not my words, that's the words of Ivan Yates, who's on his way to Singapore as we speak. Hopefully he's got a roll cage fitted inside that yoke, because he was pretty angry earlier on when I seen him. He might need some restraining. Loving that sax. Jeffrey Sachs, another man who really, really rouses the rabble as we get ourselves over to Europe, over to Germania, into the Porsche arena and see what they're offering here. It's good to hear from the man at last. My sentiments exactly, Sedazda. Showroom. None of these. The invite is for this. The Carrera GT04. 603 brake. I don't like the shape at the back, if I'm being completely honest. I'd love to have a look at that in a scenescape. What's it gonna be? 2.3 on the you know me. I'm not gonna... I mean, they invite you to purchase this car, but you still have to part with 2.3 million credits. So it's a bit of an ask. I think what we'll do is we'll keep our powder dry on that one and save that for a rainy day. Not much space in the back for any special stuff either. Charge of Deloitte Brigade, thank you very much. Big shout out to Deloitte, who do the God's honest day in, day out with their financial auditing and expertise. I can't say thank you enough to you guys. And to Paulie Murray, the man, the myth, the legend. Unbelievable, heartfelt thanks to you and yours. this season. Mostly a question for Tommy, but do you know if Giuseppe approved of his homemade pizza? I don't have a clue. I really couldn't tell you. You're asking me questions I don't have the answer to because I don't even know what the question pertains to. I'll pass on the question to Tom Assey himself. But Deloitte were on to me about the fact that they had a presentation going from a Chinese investment fund the other day, and one of the slides was just one big contextless picture of a Labubu. And they thought of me. In that moment, they thought of me. And it's touching, to say the very least. As we head over to the salubrious surroundings of Luca's Gran Turismo Cafe, who's just reminding us about our successful Menu Book 23 collection and the Alfa Romeos stored within. One of the oldest out of the numerous core brands in Italy is Alfa Romeo of Milan. Established in 1910, they've been around for well over a century. Its emblem, should I say, is also something of a classic, combining the cross of the city of Milan with the snake that is the symbol of the local house of Visconti. Didn't know that. Look at that steering wheel logo screwed on, and then the sheen and shine of the front piece. This is a fantastic piece. Fantastic piece. Which is the same I said to Fiona Shin earlier on. Even though, it did open the kimono wide and bring about Ivan's downfall. It was a fantastic piece. A great piece. I'm looking forward to the next piece. DJ Chalky Peanuts, thank you very much there. Up and at 'em, Konzo Burn Rubber. It's been their company badge from the very beginning. 1911, Alfa Romeo took part in its first Grand Prix, along with other manufacturers from various countries. And between 1920 and 1930s, Alfa Romeo racing cars won GP race after GP race, and since then they've produced many legendary sports cars that carry over the performance of their race cars. And of course, Alfa Romeo still continues this trad today. And look at that scenescape. Lovely stuff. On to number 24. Use circuit experience to learn about a track. We all know about that. We've been there, we've done it. Today, it's all about Italy. Monza. We've got our hands on some powerful European cars from the Beamer crew and Alfa Romeo. I'd like you to enter the European Championship. Competizione. It features some tracks you're probably not that familiar with, so you need to do your homework. Head on over to World Circuits. Select Dragon Tail Gardens in Europe. Use the Circuit Exp feature to drive a lap at the track and get a feel for it. Once you manage to record a bronze or better, the menu is complete. Easy Street. Easy Street. Using the Circ Experience feature to learn about a track is key to winning the race. They're telling us stuff we already know, of course. Let's get inside the Coliseum here, and that will open up our track experience menu. Hopefully they want us to do. Let's have a look here. The Dragon Tail in Croatia. Gardens. Lovely stuff. There we go. And it's fast already. This is just going to be a sector. It's going to be nice just to get gold after gold after gold, or bronze after bronze after bronze. Menu book done. Nothing too strenuous, nothing too hectic. I needed this. I really needed this. As I said to Yates earlier on, there's nothing like getting behind the wheel of a hypercharged power beast. and taking home a bit of silverware or bronzeware at the end of the day as well. Enjoy your time in the Balkans. A swift kick to the Balkans with that 29.9 second sector, and that'll just ease us into the evening. Into the Bronze Age we go. I could go for silver and gold, but it's nice just to come away with the menu book in good time, you know? We leave this and go out and go to section 2. Pierce Brosnan. Bronzeman, should I say. How much does one of those wheels and a pedal attachment cost for the game? Try again. I think we're gonna get to see Sarah again and again and again here. She's not here yet. She might appear in a minute or two if we fail a few times, and Sarah usually chimes in with, relax, take a deep breath, and go again. You invested the pension book into bronze, John. Just one moment there, let's see if we can hear what the take is on News Talk. I believe it's time for the hard shoulder, but I'm not particularly too sure they'll be wanting to touch on any of the suspects or any of the story that we've been talking about here. Suspects is a dangerous word to be throwing around there. We go.
Every business starts as a dream. Shopify helps turn it into reality. From beautiful templates to AI-generated content and built-in marketing tools,
why not?
Everything you need is in one place.
Why
Whether
not?
you're just starting or scaling up, Shopify makes it easy to build, sell, and grow with 24/7 support whenever you need it. Turn those what-ifs into why-nots.
Send it
Sign up
far.
for your €1 per month trial and start selling today at shopify.ie.
Send it far.
Nude pictures of themselves, and then that was sent around to 1,000 other places, which was then sent to another 1,000 places.
So I don't think that's the Yates story they're covering. So we'll circle back to that when it's a little bit less dodgy, you know. We'll circle back to that in a bit. But that's great news about Shopify. Really is. They seem to be knocking it out the park. Shopify makes it easy to have your earnings, to give your hard earnings to someone else. How was that a gold? I wasn't even paying attention. Unbelievable. You cleared this sector. Amazing work. Congratulations. Thanks very much. That's what I can get when I'm distracted. What can I get when I'm paying full attention? The car, I hate the car. It's like a little hairdryer. To answer your question about that, the pedal and the wheel, I got this custom made from the same place I get my chocolate in the Mezzogiorno region off of Francesco Chocolatici, the Italian chocolatier. And one of the pitfalls about that is that it's so hot down there that a lot of his chocolate melts. So the fees of the overheads for the fridge that he has to put it in it's enormous. It's ginormous. And but in the same town, you can get great clothes and fantastic racing wheels, handmade. You might have actually thought, well, that sounds like something that would be going on in the north of Italy. You're wrong. The Mezzogiorno is where it's at. Those in the know what I'm talking about. Could we get him on the line? Asked Micro Designs official. You on about Yates? I mean, I don't have. He's actually in the air at the moment. He's above He's going to Singapore. I think he's above the Balkans in an airplane, but he's not. He's not here. Just lash the hard shoulder back on, see what's going on.
Boys, when they're exposed to all kinds of really extreme stuff.
Okay, right, that's not it. keep on managing to log into News Talk when it's just hitting the dodge hour, you know? Just start this here and then... No, that's the wrong one. We've already golded this. This is Goldie Horn. We put this retry exit and exit that. And sector 3 away into section 3. That's what I said. Look, you know, you go get away from the storm, the shit storm for a few weeks. Get yourself out to Singapore. Get onto a beach and forget about all this. Because there's only going to be pain here for the next few days. And you need a real hard dose of R&R at the moment. Path to power might be gone, but you sure as hell can make a comeback in another monumental way. And he knows that. There's Sarah. Too bad you finished the race, but not in time. You know that. We know that. Everybody knows that. You can do it. And, you know, that's where he's gone. That's where he's gonna have his downtime. And no doubt he's gonna be back with an elevated sense of self. And in the long run, Joe, this sort of bad press, although it may seem like bad press at the moment,
Somebody call Grant.
there's nothing wrong with it because you're getting your name out there. You're reminding people that you are an important figure and someone who should be taken seriously. You know, you were so serious in the beginning that the actual government was willing to take you on board, you know, as a mind force, you know? Now they didn't know that you weren't going to reveal to any of your future business conquests about the conflict of interest, and I will have to agree wholeheartedly, it was short-sighted of him to go with that smear line campaign the day he did, knowing that he was, you know, in one door with Fianna Fáil, the other with the podcasts, and that was only going to lead to badness. It's amazing that it only took until now for it all to get figured out. Dara Darmody, thank you very much for your kind-hearted and generous tip. What car should I buy that makes people think that man is very wealthy when I drive by? Just anything that I have driven in this. You've seen my collection. Mercedes is great. Mercedes is great. Get yourself a Zonda. Get yourself a Zonda, or get behind the wheel of a real nippy little Beamer. You know? And Raleigh says 2 words. Mercedes. Thank you very much, Rusty Bullet Hole Bandit as well, and DJ Chalky Peanuts. Very, very kind of you. Sector 4. Or get behind the wheel of a Lotus. You know, when you drive by in a Lotus, heads turn. People gasp. And that's too fast in the Dragon's Tail Bend way. Straight off track. Once we get this menu book, I'm thinking of just some free-form lappage on the Eiger to wind down. Guaranteed returns. Thank you very much for the tip. Worried about Zoran Mamdani's impact on the global economy. A lot of talk about that guy. It's just going to be a mayor of a city. I don't know why the world is enthralled with the mayoral race of a city. You know, is it just because, you know, there's a vast swathe of the American media landscape is based there that it just becomes global news? Personally, I couldn't give a rat's ass. That's Sarah, that's a bronze, that's fantastic. Brap Zanigan, thank you very much. TV show pitch, Quango Unchained. I'm liking this. Wherein yourself and Yates travel the world in search of the finest locally sourced quasi-non-governmental organizations. Quango Unchained. Deutsche Bank are already on board. Sounds like it's a go, or sounds like it's time to sign on the dotted line for that one. You know, I really am impressed. I just hop on board, and I'm only on half an hour, 40 minutes, and already the offers are coming in thick and fast. Backhurst is watching, taking notes. There's going to be a Renault sponsorship on the dating show that somebody was pitching earlier on as well. And nobody in NYC thinks of voting for Mamdani as the lesser of two evils. He's the obvious choice for anyone with a mild education, says Samantha. Quango Unchained Yates forms, says Keo. And home from work in Konzo is tea run up the tarmac. God has blessed this day. One more on the Mamdani story, as says Jonathan. I only like Mamdani because he scares New York landlords. There's a lot of the Mamdani stuff is making waves, it seems, out there, but I mean, obviously I've been ensconced in a Yatesian bubble. Let's just wrap this up here with a sweet one-lap bronze attack. I'll come out swinging and fighting. We know each and every individual turn and corner, and we've already won bronze on each of them. I'm keeping it nice and tight on the bend there. Just let the Dunlops tickle the brimstone. And there we go, into turn 2. Down to second. A little bit too slow on the hairdryer. Nothing we can't afford. Nothing we've not done before. That's not bad turning. The responsivity is nice. It's like a responsorial psalm at a requiem mass. And maybe that requiem mass is for the podcast, Path to Power, which isn't a bad idea, actually. I might actually get on to a priest this week and see if there's anything they can do along those lines. I don't know if priests do requests or the Catholic Church is into that, but I feel as though it might be something worth investigating. And also, the church can do with bums on seats. We've mentioned it time and time again. I think they just need to diversify their assets and also try and appeal to a wider array of folk. And who better than to aim your sights, your Christianic sights on, than podcast listeners, because there's probably more podcast listeners than there are church goers. And if you think about church and mass as a whole, it's kind of the original podcast, you know? You get in there, and the priest says his piece. Although we know what's coming with the, the reading from the Bible, and the communion, and all the other rituals that you do. The sermon is where the priest gets to spit bars and really rile up the congregation with, some great rhetoric. So maybe there's something there. If there are any priests out there, the podcast was called The Godcast in church, says Acid Wax. Get on to me. And also to Big Red earlier on, if you're watching, you did have a proposal regarding me visiting your coffee establishment in Phibsborough, I think it was. But also, I'm extending this pitch to anyone else who would like to have me frequent their premises and drink and rate the coffee on one of the early morning sojourns. Get on to me. I'm all for it. We might be able to work something out. A special kind of customary piece would be fantastic. And I think it would serve us both well, Acast are interested. And guaranteed returns. Thank you very much there. Podcast proposals, pants to power Ivan Yates speaks to various captains of industry and political leaders about trousers they've worn at key parts of their careers, with a focus on thought leadership. NordVPN are suggesting a wraparound deal. Do you know? It's all coming up Yates at the moment. The moment he touches down in Singapore, he's going to be overwhelmed with the offers that are coming through. As I said to you earlier on, you know, no press is bad press. And the only thing worse than being talked about is not being talked about. And right now, he's hot property. People are going to want to see an interview very soon. That's going to have to carry some sort of branding deal potential, right? Let's get over to Switzerland and just chill on the Eiger and spitball a few more ideas here, because I feel as though we're in a real liquid dream at the moment. And there's a lot of potential out there. Let's have a look here. He's calling it Jacks on Political Hacks. We're nearly at the 5 milli stage of credits. And we've earned all bronze. That's our menu book. Quick circle back to the cafe, Gran Turismo, to see if Sarah and Luca have any kind words for us. And maybe a brand new car. And some lovely freeform jazz as well would be great if they have it. I like this. It just oozes elegance and class. And then it goes into a kind of Cafe Del Mar. It's lounge. It's come down lounge sort of stuff, you know? You've smeared all you can smear. Now it's time to get yourself to the Gran Turismo Cafe. You've done it again. Nice work. I bet you got a good understanding of the Dragon Tail Gardens track. I did indeed. Just a heads up, I'm going to be asking you to enter a champ next. Champ mash on tap. Can you imagine that? Need to get onto Bora and see whether or not they can facilitate that. A champ mash tap. Because they already do that tap that gives you instantaneous boiling hot water. But have they ever thought about mashed potato coming out of a tap? Maybe you could be feeding it the spuds into a drum, like a custom-made chromatic spud drum underneath. And it's like one of those food processor units that they sell now for exorbitant prices, which does your whole dinner. You just have to empty the ingredients into the unit. But just getting back to the champ, this just deals primarily in mashed potatoes. And you can imagine it. It's nearly there with the food processors. But let's just focus on this, you know? Add your spuds, add your onions, whatever the hell else goes into a champ. I mean, I know Colcannon, love that. Or a tap that just does Colcannon. Again, another reason to be pleased is that these ideas are more or less patented the moment I say them. You know, the proof of concept is out there. And it's crystallized on the stream. KMC, thank you very much. The unit would have to be a hard to clean. It's the only way. You talk about the champ mash machine. The Colcannon. Yeah, a self-cleaning situation would really be what I would be after. I don't want to have to then get the hands dirty cleaning off bits of cabbage and fucking miscellaneous spud, which would encrust and go hard if there wasn't a moisture chamber in there as well. You definitely need a moisture chamber, or a moisture, like a little gas canister that just emits a puff of moist air intermittently on the hour after the mash has been made, just so that when it does come time to clean, it's gonna come off very easily. But I suppose if you've got the technology which we've available to us for dishwashers, then of course a bit of encrusted mashed potato is not going to be anything. Especially to those boffins over in Germany at the Bora factory. It'd be like an ice cream machine. You'd have to keep it running constantly. Look, if you've got the capital, then there is no limit. The sky is the limit, as far as I'm concerned. And I'm a formidable concierge, connoisseur. A tap that can change between mash or gravy or roast chicken is another one, but I'm not sure how that chicken is going to come out the tap. The gravy and mash, definitely, yeah. Not sure either about the amalgamation of gravy and mash. Gravy should be poured onto the mash on the plate. I don't think they should be interspersed inside a machine, which would then pump out some brown mash, which is just going to look wrong on a number of different levels as well. I don't want to get into why, but you can imagine why. Cold cannon and hot cannon, thank you very much. Their integration with normal tap convention. And Omar, thanks for the tip. Omar, thanks for the tip. You say Acast and Libsyn are already in a bidding war for this Liquid Dream Coffee Shopcast. Shopify are on board to sponsor in a 360-degree deal. Let's just fly back to the hard shoulder and see what he's cooking up in his oven. His news and current affairs oven. On the go lab.
Kitchen and bathroom sinks, taps, appliances, and accessories.
That's
Plus,
not
10%
Cudahy.
off kitchen, bathroom, and bedroom installations. Shop in store or online. You can do it when you B&Q it. Ends 1st of December. 10% off applies to installation costs only. Exclusions apply. See DIY.ie for details.
The stylish range of Bell & Kitchen appliances are renowned
Bell-
for quality
Bell
and
& Kitchen.
reliability. In addition, Belling appliances come with a full 2-year warranty. Go online to powercity.ie.
Get yourself over to Power City. Pronto stat.
Distinctive by design. They move you even before you drive. The all-electric Cupra Tavascan and Born. Now with flexible PCP finance and an SEAI grant booster to €7,000.
7,000.
Search Cupra and discover our latest offers. Cupra. Design that moves.
Wow.
Finance provided by way of hire purchase agreement from Volkswagen Financial Services Ireland Limited. Subject to lending criteria. Terms and conditions apply. Volkswagen Financial Services Ireland Limited. Trading as Cupra Financial Services is regulated by the Central Bank of Ireland.
Great voiceover work.
Meter, you're in control.
That
Track
advert,
your
it was
daily,
like listening to
weekly,
a
and monthly
dream.
Electricity usage, so you can choose the right plan for your home.
Subject to lending criteria.
Let's make smarter energy choices, so we can work together for Ireland's cleaner electric future. Sign up to a free ESB Networks online account today and see how your smart
Beautiful
meter
stuff.
can work for you. ESB Networks, energizing your everything.
The Hard Shoulder. With the all-new MG HS plug-in hybrid.
Recharge
Petrol
your
freedom
soul.
Plus up to 120 kilometers electric range. MG. Recharge
Your soul.
This
Is News Talk.
Now, we have teamed up with On Plus to give you the chance to win a lovely prize and just in time for Christmas. One for all gift cards. They're
not
tax-free up to
Goody.
€1,500
Don't know who this is.
and are the perfect reward for your staff this festive season.
Don't
You can
know who
order
this
your One
is.
for all physical or digital card on the new online platform onplus.com/business gifting or at your local post office. And every day this week, we've got €1,000 One for all gift card up for grabs. That could put a pretty big dent in those Christmas costs.
it
that
really-
Hillary Clinton was
not to
talking
be
about.
sniffed
win
at.
Every day we're going to be describing something that we've
Not to be
purchased with
sniffed
our
at.
Newstalk One for All card, and you have to guess what it is. Here is today's purchase. It has a flat top with supports that's used as a surface. It can be rectangular, round or oval and can be made of wood, metal, glass or other materials. You can work at it, eat from it or place things on it. Drawers on this object are optional but not necessary. It's a place where people tend to gather round in the home to eat and chat.
It's
What
obviously
is
a
it?
table.
Is it A, a kettle or B, a table? Text the word
Or is
card
it
and your answer.
the
and
new Bora Champ Mash Tap with seat functionality as well? A slide out seat comes out the side of the Champ Mash spud chamber out the back. Chrome chrome encrusted.
Everything but pack your bags.
Chrome plated.
We're working on that.
Great tune. Narubu-san, thank you very much, bud. What cafe book number are you on now? I'm on 47. Jesus Christ. Who are you? Hitman. It gets pretty soul destroying, you say.
The hard
There's nothing soul destroying about winning menu book after menu book, right? It's living the dream.
Hatchback with a 450-kilometer range.
Recharge your soul.
This
Is News Talk.
News Talk.
Must be some pretty light traffic out there on the roads today.
Well, there is. I just actually breezed through a gold or a bronze session in Croatia. Yates on skates. Ivan Yates investigates the population decline among Ireland's best loved native flatfish. Doesn't sound too fiery. Let's just say that we've had better suggestions in the last hour. But thanks for trying anyway, and thanks for the tip.
In New York, and Fionn Davenport has the ultimate guide to the best 50 hotels in the world. Have you been to any of them, I wonder? As
I probably have. I probably have.
Cost of 30 cents.
Don't want to brag.
Free 087 1400 106.
Shane, thank you very much, buddy. Any advice on giving a talk to the drones on AI efficiencies? Boss wants it done by end of Q3.
108 FM on the News Talk app, powered by Gold Out and Smart Speaker. This is News Talk.
It's 5 o'clock. Good evening. An Oireachtas committee has heard frivolous objections. Land rezoning and lack of private funding must be urgently addressed to speed up the construction of new homes. Some of the largest home builders and housing groups are discussing ways to unlock barriers to delivery.
Just to get back to you there, buddy, you're saying the boss wants it by the end of Q3. It's already gone. You've fucked it. There is no more Q3. We're slap bang into Q4. So unfortunately, your job might be gone. I'm not sure what the lay of the land is in your workplace or where you're working, but you'd want to fucking get your skates on with that. You could be finished, John. You could be finished. Or Shane. Sorry for calling you John. Let's get involved here in just a nice, easy street. 3 laps of the Eiger. It's just going to be a solid gold bar. Again, like, we bring home this gold bar, we dig up the back of the patio and we bury it. We forget about it. And then when shit hits the fan, you've got a nice solid bulk of solid money. You know, it's not like paper. It's not going to lose its value. It's only going to accrue, double, triple, quadruple in value over the year. And look, it's all about the Eiger as well. The gold bullion and the Eiger. Allow it to appreciate in value over the decades. I don't like to think about over the decades as well, because I start to think about how many decades are left. A dodecahedron of Decadian action would be nice, but I don't think that's on the cards. It's scary, let's just say that. And I heard an advert earlier on when I was driving back from town, which is completely ripped off the advert I made a few years back. And it says something like, planning for your... not for a pension, I think it was for a government pension initiative, which is if you're paying a certain amount of PRSI, then the government are going to start putting into a pension for you or something like that. And it said the line, planning for your pension can be daunting, but it doesn't have to be. And it was on News Talk as well, so with a bit of luck, I'll put that back on in a minute and we'll hear it. And then I'll ring my solicitor and we'll get him involved, because that is just plain theft. Absolute neck of those guys. And whatever about fucking Zohan Mamadani or fucking Rivers Cuomo or any of these New York contesters, it doesn't really have any bearing on my life where I am here. So I'm not really invested in it as much as everyone seems to be. You know, people have their opinions and whatnot, but what's it really gonna do for me? Nothing. Listen to the sound out of this yoke. It's tricked. And it's manual as well. I had to have a manual gearbox installed because it comes automatic as standard. I just thought it's such a nice little hatchback dreamer. But it's marketed towards easy Sunday drivers, even though it has the potential to be a beast. So I had it completely refitted and reimagined. Yes, just thieving the pole there. Oh, fuck. Thought that was the last lap. Doesn't matter, we'll still catch him. Green flag is out. Might lose a few Rivers Cuomos on that. A few seconds. That's nothing to me. But yeah, tore the arse out the car. Put in a brand new arse and a fantastic rip-roaring engine. It's got the turbocharger injection as well. And a widely heralded nouveau riche Sumo flange just beneath the rear spoil tailer, which gives you the extra backblast you need when you're blowback in a fucking Beamer on the wide curve just outside the Eiger Nordwand on a Tuesday weekday fortnight. You love to see it, and you see to love it. And I'll say again, we will be doing the Sea to Summit. And if anyone else is doing it, let us know. Give us a shout, because we're going to be having a great party in the third holiday home. And also, that's going to be let out at the same time to some tourists, so it's going to be a full house. I'm going to be doing Bikram yoga classes in the morning, and then just doing lumbar stretches and Tai Chi in the night, and then the next day going full pelt on the mountain. The locals in and around Westport absolutely love it when we descend upon the town for our fitness journey. Absolutely love it when we're there. I mean, and they don't mind at all that we jam up the town with all the big cars, creating unbelievable congestion. Because they know that we're there for a good reason, you know? And listen to that slap bass to signify first place. $63 on the KPD. Thank you very much there for the Seinfeld bass slap. And do check out T-Square and Cassiopeia, as I was saying earlier on. Fantastic J-Jazz from those guys. Just check back in with the Hard Shoulder, see what they're droning on about on that. I was just hoping for more updates on the Yates scenario, but I suppose they want to steer clear of it.
And for a particular school and particular area, we know that it's specific to that school and the response is specific to that area. So we'll be able to then talk to that community, that school, those patrons.
No, it sounds boring. And I think once we get to the adverts, then you will hear that blatant rip-off of my material. It was very particular and it was very specific. And that's a gold trophy behind my head. As I have that smelt. I'm going to take that to the smelters later on, and they're going to just compress it into a fucking solid ball of gold. because the trophy cabinet is replete and resplendent, too much to accommodate that lovely Gran Turismo piece. So it's better off just fucking compressed and smelted and compressed. And whoever smelted dealt it, as they say. The Smelt Brothers in Monkstown. If anyone's interested, I can put you onto them. They do a mean smelt operation, and it's actually a hidden operation as well. Nobody knows about it. You would imagine that something of that ilk would be a big, extravagant affair. People would just know about it, but you don't. Goes on behind closed doors, and what goes on behind those closed doors stays behind closed doors. It's not recycled copper ingots. It's pure gold bullion. And just nice to get onto the Eiger. Forget about all the noise that we've heard all day long, Wagyu Frisco melt in the Tenderloin district. I saw Ray Darcy out running in Clonskeagh the other day. Begs the question, Con, what's he running from? So he's just enjoying life, not worrying about having to go in and perform the grind, I'd say just be happy to get out of there. Just get out, do something different. Get NordVPN to fucking sponsor it, or get someone to do a 360 deal on it. Read a few ads. Chat to some people who want to talk on a podcast and fucking just belt them out. There's no end. It doesn't really even matter what you're talking about. I like to just, whenever I leave the room and I'm going about my business, I just need to listen to something. It can be fucking anything. So why not for Darcy, I suppose he's just going on a run just to really get the endorphins flowing and get ready for the comeback. The voices soothe me. Pod it out. He's bringing back Too Fat with Zig and Zag. I don't know, I haven't seen Zig and Zag in a while, but hopefully they're doing okay. Great guys. Planet Zog. The Nothing to Do with Toast video. Absolute epic in the canon. It's going back. It's taking me back. Just even talking about it. And running from Pat Kenny's vicious hounds, says the other Jeff. I don't know if Pat has any hounds, and I definitely don't think they'd be running wild around Clonskeagh. Let me just see what we're dealing with here. We've gone over the 5 million mark in terms of credits, which is fantastic news. It's always great to make your first 5 million, but it's always better to make your first 10. You know what I'm talking about, right? 10 million credits? Of course you know. Only winners tune into this. And the replay here, which will show our win, will solidify that previous statement. The way I handled that Peugeot 208, it doesn't even deserve to be on the track with me there. I mean, no shade to the Peugeot boys, but what are you doing in a race with a powerful machine, with branding deal after branding deal after branding deal, big names, reputable names, good companies, Pfizer, Fallon and Byrne, Deloitte. Pfizer made the best job. Okay, might be mRNA, might not, I can't remember. Pellegrino on the back windows, tinted. It's almost 6 o'clock. And it really, well, in about 50 minutes it will be. The first mill is always the hardest to make. Once you go past that threshold, it's delightful. Once you go past that threshold, get onto Deloitte. They'll smooth your passage into the next million. And then into the next million. And then into the next million. You change your name to Max. It's short for what? Maximilian. Because you want to max out your millions. And you want to go 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 until you make 1,000 million, which is a billion. We all know about that, don't we? Of course we do. That was a fuck up on that turn, but I knew that I could save it. The bacon was well and truly saved. That was the Rivers Cuomo, Zoran Mamadani turn. We were discussing the mayoral race and I lost my concentration. But as you can see, elegantly poised on the bridge to smoke out any of the chancers who were trying to lay siege to my gold. It's fantastic stuff. Pure Ronin group magic on that bend. Crank up the engine there. Popping and farting, that's the custom exhaust pipe. And that's where I thought I was on the last lap. This wasn't great. Now that's not perfect, but nobody said it was. Back into it again. Volksmaster Flash thinks he's got the jump on me. Think again. Think again. In association with Muttman. Darren Mack, thank you very, very much, buddy, for the tip. Great night for a bit of driving. Pump out the gold trophs. For me, Darren, it really wasn't about the gold. I feel as though it's just about hitting the Eiger, slapping those balloons onto the tarmac at him and saying, "This is what I've got, guys. Are you ready for this? Because if you're not, the restaurant's over there. I suggest you go and order yourself the foie gras to start, followed by filet mignon, sauce béarnaise, and then the signature tiramisu. Because you don't belong on the track with me on it when I've got those tires on this car." Checkered flag, thank you very much. I always have the checkered flag in the eyes. Even from the start. Brap Zanigan, thank you very much there. Podcast pitch coming thick and fast here. Tie of the Eiger, in which yourself and Yates discuss sartorial options and opportunities for the fashion-forward mountaineer. Very nice. Maybe we could get something going with Regatta or North Face, maybe. Because that is, the North Face of the Eiger is what you see. That's what you climb when you're doing it solo. Kingspan have already been sounded out as potential commercial partners to this venture. I'm gonna put that one on the short list. And we'll work our way back around the circle and meet again first thing Tuesday weekday morning inside the boardroom. Little bit annoyed that we didn't get to see the rock room at the drop this morning, but as I said, something like that absolutely comes into its own under the cover of darkness, because the light from inside the building just pops. It really does. And juxtaposed with the solemn, dimly lit shop front of Zambrero across the way, and then Morton's Steakhouse. It just screams elegance, luxury, and class. And I really just would love to get hands-on with some of the guitars inside there. Grab a couple of drumsticks and go at the electric drum pad. But I'd need an in, you know. I'd need some kind of in to get into Dropbox down there. So if anybody, I'm just pleading here, if anybody knows anybody who can maybe spin a yarn or something just to get my foot in the door, they just need to know who I am. You know, they don't know me yet. They don't know me yet. But once they do, we get the run at the Dropbox Rock Room. Who knows what kind of musical madness we could create. You know, Gary Lineker, thank you very much. Podcast proposal coming from the man himself, Goal Hanger. Fucking fantastic array of pod work they do there. Podcast proposal, Brandenburg Yates. Ivan lives the life of several Berliners over 6 episodes, including an attendee in Your Maz. an artist in Kreuzberg, and as tourist soldier at Checkpoint Charlie. Manscaped are hoping to launch new balls razor as main sponsor. It sounds a little bit too close to the skin, but it could work out. You've spelt Manscaped with 2 P's on the scap, so it says Manscaped. But that would tally with having a balls razor, because you'd be taking a scalp off it maybe. But look, let's just move away from the ball talk and focus on what we've got and what we've managed to achieve. Gold on the Eiger on Tuesday evening. Is there anything better? Is there anything better at all? I don't think there is. Obviously, you head into the hotel restaurant after this des Alpes and really lay siege to a thick tiramisu. But other than that, it's the checkered flag. It's the screech of the engine. It's the fear in the eyes of your opponents. And it's the smelted gold trophy brought back to Monkstown. To be smelted. It's not even smelted yet. Do you know? Hasn't been dealt with. We're going for gold. Again and again and again. Why not? Let's have some fun with it. I just love this car so much. It's such a joy to drive. It's a real joie de vivre. A French for a joy to drive. And, you know, I feel so sorry for those who don't have the opportunity to really pilot something like this, because it's a once in a lifetime opportunity. But it's one that I get to have again and again. Look at that lovely bit of bread and sausage there on the table with the sparkling water. The crows have landed. They're looking for a little bit of sausage as well. Let's get back into this. Maybe combine that with a bit of news talk as well, just to really feel the breeze of the hard shoulder.
Is anything heard through a connected device, and in Ireland, it's big. Over 1 million people listen every week.
Yes.
Audio XI is Ireland's largest digital audio
I hope we get to hear it.
and we can help your brand reach 3.2 million engaged listeners monthly. Elevate your marketing strategy with targeted digital audio ads across
recharge
radio,
your
podcast and music streams.
Recharge your
Choose
stream
Audio XI for impactful and effective advertising. Visit audioxi.com to get started.
Trends come and go, but true icons remain.
Yeah.
From the Ibiza and Leon to the family-friendly
Seat.
Ateca and Arona SUVs.
Get out of here.
Them all at the Seat 261 sales event, November 3rd to 15th.
Whoa,
Avail of
whoa.
finance, 3 years free tyre insurance, 3 years free servicing, and a €500 prepaid credit card.
Fuck.
Search Seat.ie or visit your local Seat retail.
What game is this? It looks great, asked Lunar Sky. It's none other than Zack and Cody's Sweet Life for the DS. Driver Upgrade DLC. Actually, I'm wrong. It's not. It's Pippa Funel for the DS. But I've installed mods for it from Nexus. Wait, sorry, it's gonna say the line.
Free. MG. Recharge
Your soul. This is News Talk.
Welcome back to the Hard Shoulder with Sean Defoe. Now, New Yorkers are heading
here
to
we
the
go.
polls to pick their next mayor.
Mom
We're gonna talk about
Donnie,
that
Mom
in
Donnie.
just a few minutes. But the former vice president to George W. Bush, Dick Cheney, he died today at the age of 84. Widely viewed as one of the most polarizing but also influential vice presidents ever. Joining me now to update on all this is the White House columnist for The Hill,
Cheney.
Niall Stanage. And just before we get to Niall,
Stanage.
a bit of a clip here of Dick Cheney, and I suppose maybe sums up some of the
Fucking
controversy. This is
Stanage.
following a report that criticised US methods of interrogation in the Iraq War, where personnel were accused of using waterboarding. Here's what Dick Cheney had to say about whether US troops...
Gotta hand it to Cheney. He knew how to do a waterboard.
Torture was what the Al-Qaeda terrorists did to 3,000 Americans on 9/11.
Exactly.
There's no
It's actually
comparison between that and all
2,900 and
the
something.
enhancement.
Now, Stanage, direct as
Love
ever, I suppose,
Stanage.
quote there
There's
from
no
Dick
one
Cheney, maybe
does it
summing
like
up
Stanage.
The polarising figure that he was.
Well, yes, certainly, but he was also defending torture there. I mean, he can call it enhanced interrogation if he likes, but
enhanced interrogation
is almost universally considered to be torture. He was very much to the fore of
it's fine.
related things.
It's
One
fine.
The,
waterboarding it's not all it's cracked up to be.
Attempt at public persuasion, that was a good thing. And then the related issue was the so-called war on terror, including legislation passed here that became very controversial because of the way it expanded government surveillance powers. A piece of legislation called the Patriot Act, really increasing the power of the United States government to survey its own citizens as well as people internationally. So clearly a massively polarizing figure, as you say.
Yeah, and one of those that I suppose, I have to say, the first word that came to mind was villainous when I thought earlier, and that do you think that will be his legacy, even in the context of, the US sort of going to hell in a handbasket since he left office?
Hell in a handcourt.
Yeah, I mean, I think that the Iraq war and everything that relates to it will obviously be a fairly significant black mark against his legacy. And he was, you're right,
that war was prosecuted in a very, very successful way.
Strings to a degree, much to Bush's displeasure.
I have to push back on Stanage here.
Things in a memoir. So
as much as I love the guy, he's wrong about
Cheney.
that.
We should also say that Cheney's in an odd political spot because, of course, both he and his daughter, who was then a congresswoman, took very strongly against Donald Trump, to the point where Dick Cheney said he voted for Kamala Harris last year. That he's entitled to do. He believes that Trump is a fundamental threat to American democracy. But it left Cheney in an oddly friendless place because, of course, Democrats still hold his conduct in relation to Iraq strongly against him, and the MAGA people didn't like his break and opposition to Trump.
They didn't like the cut of his
I
jib.
find that interesting, given that from what you hear, a lot of people behind the scenes say that Cheney was obsessed with sort of power and influence and wielding that power even behind the scenes at the expense of any sort of ideology, really, and that Trump is a very similar character. Maybe it's just two cut from a similar cloth couldn't get on.
Yeah, I mean, it would need a long time. We'd need a long time to get into all of that. I mean, I think Dick Cheney was more vigorous than some Republicans in actually making a stand.
I like Stanage, but I have to push back on his take on Cheney. I think Cheney, he was a very misunderstood guy, and it wasn't torture that he was peddling. It was just enhanced interrogation, and waterboarding, a lot is made of that. All that is a flannel on the face, and then someone gets a 5-liter bottle of Ishka and tips it up until the recipient says, do you know what, I've had enough. Nothing wrong with it, Chris Hitchens did the video of it, and he was fine, and he was, not in great shape. So imagine a lot of the Al-Qaeda lads were probably in great shape,
Bigoted attacks on minorities working in American politics, and
Captain Sack, thank you very much for the tip there. Just let's hear what Stanage has to say on the mayoral race.
Calling him a communist. I mean, we just had our own presidential election here, and there was a lot of allegations made against the eventual.
It wasn't Peter Hitchens' fault.
He was too far on the left.
I don't think Peter would have the stones
as typically Democrat leaning
to do that.
Does that make a difference?
And he also wouldn't have been backed by Variety or Vanity Fair or whatever publications Chris was writing for in the States. See, Chris was a darling of the American media and C-SPAN, all that kind of stuff,
Republican nominee, Curtis Sliwa, because Sliwa has basically no chance in New York. Trump is trying to get them to vote for Andrew Cuomo, a more centrist Democrat, the son of a former governor, as well as a former governor himself, who is, as I say, much more centrist, and they're trying to get Cuomo past Mamdani. We'll find out in about 12 hours or less whether they've succeeded.
Yeah, why is it that Trump has rallied behind Cuomo?
Well, because partly for practical reasons, that he just doesn't think that Sliwa can win, and I think he's almost certainly right about that. Cuomo and Trump do have a history, sometimes contentious, but at other times more friendly. They have sort of been around the same milieu in New York City for 20 years or more. They sort of came up. Well, Cuomo's came up a bit later, but they would have known each other well. The other thing, again, to be blunt about it, is there's a lot of very rich people behind Cuomo, whereas Mamdani is a much more grassroots campaign. And some of those rich people, a billionaire by the name of Bill Ackman, for example, are pretty pro-Trump and are pretty clearly backing Cuomo as a tactical candidate to thwart Mamdani, or to try to.
Yeah, Sliwa was an interesting candidate. As this is just a weird aside, I was in New York a couple of weeks ago in a dumpling restaurant, and Sliwa walked past me as I was eating outside, which is just very typical New York, that you can see anybody at any time. But an interesting character who has a kind of a controversial background as well, doesn't he?
Yeah, very
dumpling
controversial
restaurant.
Background. He is the founder of a group
Maybe
called the
Vanessa's
Guardian Angels. Now,
Dumplings.
this goes back, I don't have the exact dates in front of me, but probably 30, 35 years. Back, I think, to the
If you're ever
1980s.
over there, get yourself to Vanessa's Dumplings. Quasi-vigilante dumplings.
Purportedly
dumplings.
to police the
Maybe that's
subways
something.
and so forth.
Could actually open up a little dumpling restaurant. But it would be an Oriental affair, but you can't say that. It'd have to be a Chinese affair, so I wouldn't really be able to carry it.
Anyway, we'll know the result, but do you think Mamdani will probably have enough to take this?
He's absolutely the clear favourite unless there's a last-minute major switch.
Okay, White House columnist for The Hill, Niall Stanage, thanks so much for joining us on The Hard Shoulder. Lots of you getting in touch with your text. We were talking earlier about whether preparations for Christmas are starting way too soon. My family and all my friends are either opting out of Christmas presents this year or making a strict low budget when we do Secret Santa. Not a bad idea.
Bad idea.
Let's just stop buying presents for Christmas. No need to budget them. We can all say no. Yeah, good chance. I mean, your family are going to love you.
What kind of Scrooges are texting in?
Any happier now at Christmas than they were when they spent far less money. Money can't buy happiness, says that texter. 087 1400.
We could have a debate about that, but I mean, it's obviously not going to happen.
Thanks, Sean. Minister for Education Helen McEntee told The Hard Shoulder here on News Talk the role of religion in the patronage of schools.
Knock that off. But yeah, I mean, look, the idea to open up a bespoke boutique dumpling restaurant in Dublin, I mean, as far as I know, no one's doing that, and they're piss easy to make, cheap enough. I know a guy who does good dough, Niall Canage, thank you very much there, or Canage. But I love Stanage, and one of the shit things about the Dunphy podcast, The Stand ending, is that I don't get my weekly dose of Stanage, and he just offers a refreshing take on the madness of the political landscape over in the States that you don't really get from inside, because they're all too in with each other. So it's nice to have that kind of outsider, but he's an insider perspective. And I mean, we disagree on a few things as well, and Cheney's one of them. Look, God rest Cheney's soul. A star shines bright tonight in heaven. See you later, Dick. Goodbye, Dick. Love you, buddy. Enhanced interrogation techniques. Hopefully you're performing them right now up there in heaven. And it's so sad, when a real star of the earth explodes and goes away like he did or has done. And Dick Chen EV, thank you very much. In memory of Dick Cheney, I have begun designing a range of EVs using ChatGPT, hoping to release in early Jan. Any advice on meeting the product deadline in 2 months, Connor? I'll say what I said earlier on. Get onto the Chinese when you need something to turn around fast. We were talking about maybe getting a coffee book done this side of Christmas. So you can get a good rate on some stuff if you get onto the Chinese. There's a lot of productivity going on over there that you can't do, or unfortunately over here, because just laws and stuff like that, you know, get in the way. But I mean, they're pumping out the EVs, they're churning them out. But a Dick Cheney V, enhanced interrogation behind the wheel, you know. But the war on terror, what a fantastic war that was, and still is in many ways. You know, it started there with the catastrophic events, led to the fucking full-on bombing of the Tora Bora mountain range. When they realized that nothing was done there, it was time to just go feet on the ground in Iraq. And we all know what happened there. Fantastic reforming and just injecting democracy into their land and soul. And they're much better off for it now. We know the results. And then obviously Afghanistan, a smooth exit there in 2020, just as the Taliban were beginning to encroach in. They did a great job with that as well. They managed to get people out. And yeah, it remains a fantastic land. And a lot of good has come from it. So it's fixed. Cheney's just checked out, but his work is done. Do you know? My work is done here. I have to go now. And then off he went, like a puff of smoke, like a genie into the night. The genie is out the bottle. And once more, goodbye, Dick. See you later, buddy. See ya, man. This gold trophy's for you, Dick. I think we owe it to Dick to get one more trophy on the Eiger, just to cleanse the night away. Muttman is there as well, just looking the way he always did. Those big brown eyes. What a fantastic beast. Unbelievable. To think that Muttman's up there now, probably Cheney rubbing his head. Hopefully rubbing his head and not fucking
You've driven all
enhanced interrogating him. Dr. Oakter's Advanced Pizza, thank you very much for that. 5.19 million credits in the bankinio. And away we go, yo, for one more rodeo on the Eiger. Imagine that, bringing a rodeo bull up to the tarmac Adam of the Eiger and riding it around the track. And then jumping off at the end before corralling it into a pen, but not killing it like the Spanish do. Although they don't ride the bull, they just jab it with stab sticks until it fucking until it has no. I'm not laughing at the actual doing of it. I think it's disgusting, but unfortunately that's what they do. And you have to imagine. I think I saw Francis talking about this the other day when he was trying to kill a bull made of stone on some game, that you have to imagine there's probably some sick minds that go to that running of the bulls, really enjoying the fact that the beast is going to be brought to its final resting place once it gets into the Coliseum or the bullpen or wherever the fuck it is. At least in the States, they have a bit of crack with it. They ride it around the place while baying mobs of people shout and drink beer. And the bull loves it. The bull enjoys it. It's definitely not scared or antagonized. Those kicks that it does when it bucks, that's just a show of affection, care, and love for the rider, the bull rider, the rodeo man. And you have the funny, light-hearted, aside from the kicks of joy, the other light-hearted aspects is you have the rodeo clown as well. Such an important fixture in the American cultural calendar. is that rodeo clown who provides fun and laughter, honking sounds, and silly dances to appease the masses in between and sometimes during the bull riding. So in memory of Cheney, I'm opening a D4 coffee boutique. Instead of coffee enemas, we're offering a bespoke roasted Arabica bean that, since I'm not going to read the rest of it, but it sounds like a great idea for a very specific niche of people there, Tex. Enhanced overtaking. Thank you very much for the tip, Connor. What beast do you think Dick Cheney would take around the Nordschleife? Great question. I mean, if you're thinking about biological, zoological creatures, then I'd like to see him piggyback on an orangutan or a fucking a silverback gorilla. Yeah, I think that. But I don't think he would take an animal. He'd just be, he'd get in the back of an APC. You know, he would be militaristic. He would be militaristic, and he would get inside the back of a C-130 passenger, or maybe an AWACS plane, where he'd just have the headset on, surveying drone slayings, whilst eating snacks and saying, "Great work, lads, keep it up." But other than that, I'm not sure what the big dick is doing up there at the moment. As I said, hopefully he's having a good time and just enjoying himself, because he deserves it. He did a lot of work. One thing, look, you can say he did this, he did that, he was right, he was wrong, blah, blah, blah. One thing you can't take away from Cheney is that he worked hard. He was an early riser, first in the building, last out, and he oversaw a lot of sores in society. He was a sore on the arse of the Middle East, and he oversaw that. But what a send-off it is for me to be able to win a third consecutive gold trophy right now, which we're going to do. I haven't even done it yet. I'm just saying that's going to happen. The ball in Cheney. The ball in Cheney. This one's for the dick, man. A 365-day work week for Cheney. Nothing more, nothing less. Nothing more is not even possible. Unless he was flying around in the AWACS, circumventing time zones and going back and forward in time, adding days to the calendar. I wonder if that's possible. Do you know? I mean, time is a big concept, of course, but sometimes it's confusing when you think about whether or not you're flying backwards in time in a time zone. Obviously, you're not flying back in time, but you are, because you land in another place and it's earlier than it was in the place than you left it. So I imagine he would have done that at some stage. So you can actually say, yeah, he did do more than a 365-day work week. And that's why Cheney leaves a legacy behind him, not only of death, destruction, and misery, but also of fantastic ethics in the realm of work, which we can all aspire to do and be. A gift from God now ascends to the heavens to assume his seat, the right-hand side of our Father. And it would be the right-hand side as well, judging by his politics. Strange behavior in late age, going batting for Kamala Harris and all that kind of crack, but I suppose it was just part of the Republican old guard who just couldn't stomach the sight of Trump gaining momentum. That's Cheney for you. The man is an enigma, or was an enigma. Perhaps we'll not know about it, but I'm going to watch that movie tonight as I cradle my gold trophy. The one with Christian Bale. Fantastic film. Can't remember the name of it. But a He put on a lot of weight for it. And it was an interesting film. I remember the beginning of it. It shows you Cheney before he became a Politico titan. And he was like a lineman fixing telephone lines and fucking telegraph poles and whatnot. So he had the common touch, as well as the touch of death. You know, enhanced interrogation. He was the Wichita lineman. American Psycho. One man's psycho is another man's fucking dream. One man's, I mean, people would say he's a psycho, but, you know, he was a very grounded psychopath. And he was far removed from the psychopathy of his decrees, let's just say that. He didn't actually perform any of the waterboarding himself. He only green-lit it, do you know? So does that make him evil? Did he do those tasks? He didn't. He really didn't. Cheney, ladies and gentlemen. Cheney. This one's for you, Budsky. Say hello to the muttball for me. There we have the checkered flag, the Dick Cheney checkered flag extraordinaire, in association with the new MG hybrid electric range. Recharge your soul. This is Drive Time. Imagine Cheney playing the bass. Enhanced bass techniques. Bass Cheney. Based Cheney. Absolutely fantastic stuff. Let's just see that gleaming gold sparkling trove in association with voodoo manomics, enhanced interrogation techniques, and all of the above. It's been a fantastic day.
Is down to parental choice. It comes as a survey is launched asking parents.
Just put that in here. Sorry for one moment. Thank
You
you
know
very
the way
much.
your energy bill turns up, and
Yeah.
you start doing maths you haven't touched since the Leaving Cert?
Yeah.
Not with Energy. With Energy, you get monthly bill predictions, track what you're using by the hour, and even see where you're overspending.
It's the tumble dryer. It's always the tumble dryer.
With Energy, it's all in the app.
What was
Simple
that?
as. So instead of guessing,
what was that?
Energy. You just know. ROI only. 18 plus. T's and C's apply. See unoenergy.ie.
Even before I come in here, I'm doom scrolling.
Yeah, look, it's we've been talking about it all day on the show today about how it gets in. But even the modernisation of it, because I think I did Hamlet for my Leaving Cert as well, and around.
Been doom scrolling Hamlet for the last 2 hours. We've been on Hamlet talk. Trying to practice for the Leaving Cert. Cheney's Coffee, thank you very much. Konzo, do you want to fund my coffee franchise? We tie you down with a genuine leather strap, cover your face with pure Egyptian cotton cloth, then pour pure Arabica beans onto your face for a sensual flavor experience like none other. Cheney's Coffee. What a fantastic pitch to end the stream with. As we cross over to our podium. Well. Journey we more into the nightmare. It's been a day of contradictions. Immediately off the flight from Paris, straight into a maelstrom of pain and media scrum like none other. Yates may have lost this battle, but he didn't lose the war. And right now, as I stand on this podium, I look across the sea of adoring fans, and I notice a few enemies too. But we are one. We are legion. Expect us. Expect us. Expect us. From the standpipes, the chromatic standpipes outside 4 and 5 Park Place, to the standpipes outside the Tesco Express in the new high-grade apartment development just down around Charlemont. I can say, with a spring in my step and a hop, skip and jump in my tail, that this has been the best of times, the worst of times, and then we've circled back to the best of times again. From me to you, and you to me, this is for Dick Cheney. Pray for Ivan Yates. Pray for Cheney. And pray for Gold Trove Smelters Monkstown Limited. Monkstown. 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 Come on. Feel the beast. Feel the dream. Good night and God bless. You've been amazing. Pray for Dick. Goodbye, Dick. Goodbye, buddy. Loved you, man. Thanks, everyone.